Yeah, I mean, if one of you can try to see it on Twitch mobile, that'd be great. Because for some reason, it's working on YouTube mobile, just not Twitch mobile.
Yeah, I will try and take a look at it.
Yeah.
But the Twitch mobile app is crap, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's broken.
Yeah, but it wasn't working via Twitch on browser either on mobile. But
then it might be an encoding issue.
Yeah, if you wanna try to.
I'm not sure what Restream is doing.
Yeah. Well, if you wanna try to bring up the audio at least somewhere, and me and Chloe can kind of have a little bit of a chat, and you can see how our audio is kind of playing out through the stream.
Give me a sec. First, I'm going to check your mobile stuff, but I'm currently just reading random notifications that turn up.
No worries.
Half of them I read twice already because the Discord mobile app is also broken.
Yup.
Yeah, no, my
It's getting worse every update for Discord.
Yeah, the recent update broke some stuff with me. I can't hear like system sounds at the moment, and I don't get notifications unless I actually open the desktop app.
What?
Yeah,
I do
so
get notifications, but they don't go away even if I read it 3 times.
yeah, so you see, like right now at the bottom of my window, it's showing that I have 7 messages. Chloe, can you send me a quick DM and tell me when you sent it?
Okay, I've sent one.
Cool, and you'll see it's still showing as 7 down here, even though you just messaged me. So that's not gonna update until I open it. So I'll open Discord now, and look, now I have 8.
Perfect.
So,
But yeah.
I do have good news for you.
Yes.
I do see the stream on mobile.
Oh, goody. So that might have been the changing the 10,000 to 6,000, I reckon.
Yeah, because Twitch doesn't allow you to do more than 6,000, and if Restream doesn't actually change the bitrate,
Yeah, that's probably what was happening.
then that might have been it, because I saw... I
Well, it was
tried
working
checking
fine on
earlier.
desktop.
Yeah. But desktop
just,
normally are also better with things.
Yeah, just make sure you actually go into the stream on mobile as well, because the display was showing fine. Yeah, but it was when you entered it that it turned black. Okay, well that's good to know. How is my voice volume in comparison to the music?
What? The music sounds fine to me.
The music sounds fine to you. How about my voice? Am I coming through loud and clear?
I personally would like you a bit louder, but that's just my audio setup. Basically, it's completely messed up.
Alright, how about we have Chloe talk for a bit and you can see how loud they are for you.
Let me just open it quick on my computer just to...
Oh yeah, if you can tell me how you feel my
going
voice is too, that'd be good.
Mute your everything in Discord right now, because otherwise it's going to be really annoying.
Yeah.
So there will be delay.
Well, let me know when you two lovelies are ready.
I don't know why, but my computer audio for the stream is very quiet.
Are you just talking the music or my voice as well, or?
The entire audio is very quiet on the PC for me. I don't know if that's just on my side or if that might just be all
have you
PC
changed anything on your end from yesterday?
No, everything is still at the regular volume.
That is something that I have been struggling with Twitch for a few weeks now, but Chloe is too quiet on this on the stream.
Okay, so should we?
I'm also not that loud, so you might actually remove some gain.
Okay.
Just try deactivating the second gain filter, that's why we have two.
Okay, so that was the Discord gain filter. So gain 2.
Yeah, that one.
Alright, that has been removed if you want to try talking.
So, let's see. Does it work better now?
I forgot. They're so comfy. Get more fab fits for less at Big W.
Maybe we wait for the ads to finish as well.
Kaiser, Form Fit and Triumph bras and underwear. That's more for less at Big W.
That's what it is?
Yes.
I thought it was something on my end.
Where I'm hearing the ad from.
Well, the ads from Spotify on my stream. I'll get premium at some point.
Okay, so I don't sound much louder, but I can't really test it because as soon as I mute myself in Discord and deafen myself, it also mutes me, and I need to not hear the Discord because the whole Discord is louder than the stream.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready to try.
I'm just going to deafen now.
Okay.
Supposed to be talking instead then?
Let me say a few quick words that I'll kind of stretch into a long series of nonsensical, tangible sentences for the purpose of this audio testing. And when I say, Chloe, it is now your turn to talk, you can come up with 3 sentences of random bullshit crap to say. Chloe, it is now your turn to talk.
Don't put me on the spot. What am I supposed to do with 3 sentences? I'm literally just gonna talk about how... Yeah, no, I'm out of words already.
Well, that's unsurprising, you always finish fast.
What?
How was that day?
Okay, your volume compared to each other is no great.
It's not great?
It is now great.
It's great. Okay, so how loud... so you said in comparison to each other, but how loud are we coming across as in general?
Roughly half the loudness that I set my Discord to.
Okay.
But I'm not sure how to fix that because you are basically at the max in OBS.
Okay. In that case...
If some other trouble, you're basically sending it decently loud.
But it's not receiving as loud. Chloe, do you want me and Day to talk a bit and you can do another volume comparison?
I mean, I've been listening to it on the computer this entire time.
How's it sounding?
Let me just go really close to my microphone and talk in a normal voice. That should make me actually decently loud compared to normally. Well, some bit louder.
It still feels a bit quiet on the laptop browser.
How loud is your volume set to for your Twitch volume and your browser window volume?
Twitch volume is maxed, browser volume is regular. I don't have anything that can change my browser volume.
Volume mixer?
No? What?
You can adjust
The
how...
problem is that Twitch is really quiet the last few weeks in comparison to everything else.
Okay.
So basically, I have everything else on my PC is so loud that it's sometimes even yelling in my ear, and Twitch is a whisper in comparison. So I actually have a browser plugin to specifically boost Twitch streams when they are too quiet.
Should we test the...
That's not really something you can adjust with OBS.
How about we test the...
Peak.
Let's test the YouTube volume as well to see how that is in comparison to Twitch.
Yeah, let me just find you on YouTube. I don't have you followed there yet. So that should be somewhere in here. So great, I don't hear myself. I mean, it was actually a decent test for my microphone adjustments from earlier.
For me on the browser, the YouTube sounds about the same volume as the Twitch.
I do have my YouTube at half the volume from maximum currently, and it sounds the same as Twitch, so I'm going to put it up louder now.
To fix it?
Not really.
Okay, so it's coming through kind of quietish to both. So, what is this Twitch extension you mentioned before?
What content? Also, let me just mute the stream first.
That's okay. The extension you mentioned, which increases how loud the Twitch comes through us. Was that you as a...
Actually a Twitch extension, it's just a random
browser
browser
extension.
plugin that allows you to turn up the volume per browser tab.
Oh, so that's
that would
on
have to be
a
something
listener's
that
end.
Viewers.
Yeah.
It's basically something for me to fix the Twitch streams I'm trying to watch.
Well, in...
What you can do is we can turn your audio slightly louder. Basically, we can do the limiter and put it on -1. And then basically go through your gain and put everything up by 2 and go through the compressor on your... and put everything up by 2. But it's going to be a slight adjustment.
Okay, bear with me a moment. Cool, so I'm restreaming OBS2 in Discord. So I've just put the limiter threshold to -1. Do we need to do anything with release?
No.
Okay, and compressor, anything here?
Yeah, this threshold.
Mm-hmm.
You want it adjusted by... I think put it to 15 for now.
Cool, anything else?
We can put a gain on here if you want yourself a bit louder.
Yeah, if I'm coming
But put it
across
before the
quieter.
compressor, so basically use the arrows. Yeah,
Yep.
or drag and drop, that's a new feature.
How do we want to do this?
So put it up until you're basically in the upper end of the yellow bar.
Hello,
So
hello,
somewhere
hello.
between yellow and red.
Hello, hello,
You have
hello,
to speak
hello.
to test.
Okay, that seems like it might be about a good level, hopefully.
Yeah, but we want the compressor at -10 now. Or even -5.
For the threshold?
Try -10 for now.
Hello, 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 hello. Testing, 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 testing.
Try getting louder.
I am speaking louder than usual, and it is still not peaking.
Yeah. So, that's good. And now you also want to adjust the filters on the Discord.
Yep. Let's bring that up.
So, let's start with the compressor, the normal one.
Yep.
And I need to see the audio bar.
Yes, mummy.
So, when I talk, then I'm at around -25 to 20, and I'm on the louder end. So put the compressor to 25? No, 25 to 18. It was the wrong direction. So, let me just try talking louder and louder and louder. So, I'm basically just, barely... It's fine with the 18. We're going to put a limiter also.
Try talking.
So...
Sounding better.
Next.
The Discord audio kind of hurts the ears a little.
Yes, sorry about that. You can turn me down in Discord if it's annoying.
Oh, should be fine.
So, what else do we have on here filter-wise? So, the upward compressor needs to be also adjusted. And I still need to see the bar. Maybe you can make the window a bit smaller. It doesn't have to be that wide. If I am really quiet, then I am at around 35. But I'm also not a good test case, because I do have audio processing on my mic. Raf, could you speak quietly, please?
I mean, whenever I speak, normally it's kind of quiet anyways, so...
Okay. Minus 40 for this threshold. 40, not 14. Sorry, my English pronunciation is off.
It's okay, we can just completely cut my voice out and then everyone will think you're talking to a ghost.
So, and the ratio, maybe we want to put it to 2.5? Oh, it's an inverse ratio. Okay, so just 0.5, I have no idea, just experiment. Could you please talk quietly again, Raf?
Sure. What do you want me to say?
Okay. I saw the bars, so next thing is we need to adjust the gain filter. Try minus 8 or something.
All right, open wide. Let's see your teeth.
So where do I end up now on the scale?
Keep up the good work.
Get more pearly whites for less at Big W with 50% off selected dental
maybe.
care like Colgate, White Glow, and Oral-B.
Maybe.
That's more for less at Big W.
And now we need a new filter, which is a limiter. And that one will be at the end.
Delicious hash avocados. You'll also see plenty of crisp envy apples right now.
We want to put that one to...
Cauliflower is my veg pick of the week. It's great quality and perfect
Can
for
you
the
talk,
warm winter
Farron?
meals. Finally, limes may be...
What's up, baby doll? It's your boy in the house. Here we are. This is some more audio. Hopefully we don't get a little bit too funky up in here.
Did you know?
Okay, so try minus 16.
Tap the button to see a list of upcoming, personalized live and virtual events just for you.
Release is your choice if you want to put it up or not. Because
Yes.
now, even if someone would be louder than you, they will be made quieter. And they will never be louder than minus 15.
Goody.
Or minus 16. So if you actually want them to be closer to your level, that's the filter you have to adjust.
Okay,
And
cool.
now we need Raf talking again,
Sure.
in a normal voice.
I'd say this is about my normal...
Oh, it's
normal
coming.
voice.
You're actually hitting the yellow. I'm shocked.
What? No
Yeah.
way.
We basically forced OBS to make you louder. That's why we needed someone quiet.
I need this feature in real life.
Just carry a fucking microphone around with you.
I'd have to charge it.
So now we can actually do a test on the stream again.
Perfect.
Right, let me know when y'all are ready.
Well, you might actually
did you
want to
hear?
adjust the music slightly as well, so it's a bit louder. So try to get the music at 35 to 30.
Okay, let me just turn that up. How's
Should be
that?
enough. Looks good, yeah. But basically, quite a bit of audio is just experimenting.
For sure. Okay. Can you guys hear the music okay for the stream?
I haven't actually unmuted the stream yet. Would you talk on stream, please? The music sounds fine, but I need to know it compared to your voice level.
Hey yo! It is me up in the crib once more. We here for the Reach Around Rebound comeback tour of 2017, but we are gonna add on another 7 to that because it is 2024, baby!
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Oh, YouTube sounded good. Did you check Twitch?
Yeah, I was watching the Twitch one.
Ooh,
Then
nice.
we solved the audio issue.
Nice. Can you guys like talk to each other just to test each other's volume as well?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
if you wanted to
we
test
can
it
do.
out.
So how was your nap yesterday, Ruff?
Nap? I didn't end up taking a nap.
You
I
should
ended up
have.
falling asleep. I should have. I really should have, because I didn't sleep until like 9, 10 a.m. this morning.
You always need to take a nap. How am I sounding in comparison to you guys as well?
I'm not hearing any stream.
Yeah, I turned off the stream.
So
that
if
I
we
wouldn't
two are
get
talking, you have to watch the stream, Farron.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because as long as we are talking and I have Discord unmuted, I can't hear anything.
Okay,
Because,
let me
Discord is still louder than the stream.
bring it up. Because I
And
wasn't
Discord is
doing
stupid. It doesn't allow me to actually stop the speaker without actually muting the mic as well.
Yeah.
that. Alrighty.
So,
I'm gonna take off my
basically,
headset,
you have to test.
and when I do, start talking now.
Sure. If you wanna maybe
I hear you
mute yourself
twice
on
now,
Discord though,
so
because I
something
can
might
hear your
be
video.
set up strangely.
I think he just took out the headset, so he's listening to the laptop audio of the stream.
Laptop audio shouldn't actually be inside the stream unless he has his voice meter set up strange. But at least he can check the audio levels.
Yeah. Oh wait, there we go. I'm not hearing the feedback anymore for that. Yeah. I could use like a really long permanent month nap. I need to hibernate. Like a bear. Maybe it's just summer.
I'm
so I
also
hate summer.
way too tired.
Hmm.
I got around 6 hours of sleep last night.
Oh. And didn't you have
I've
work?
been up since
Well.
7. It's now
So
verse 2.
the feedback you guys were hearing is because even though I took my headset off, I left like my mic up, and I was playing the Twitch audio on my mobile, which I just had in my head, so it was picking it up from my phone. But no, it sounded fine to me.
Know, the audio behaves differently on mobile than on desktop.
Yeah.
I never have issues with volume on the mobile. It's just a desktop issue.
Okay, let me bring it up.
Because mobile phones do different audio compressing. So there's also a compressor and specific audio settings applied there. So you never run into the issues. Even voices in games that are very quiet when I watch on desktop for some streams are understandable on mobile. It's very strange what audio processing is going on there.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to deafen on Discord, and then I'm going to have you guys do some talking. I'm going to deafen now.
Basically same.
So I had a realization when I deafen on Discord. Since I can't hear Discord, I can't hear you guys on stream.
What?
Oh yeah, because you're actually recording us through Discord. Makes sense.
Oh yeah.
I'm too tired. Okay, so we need a fourth person in here.
Who to steal?
Oh my god.
Someone get Vex in here? He's more quiet.
I didn't process any of that conversation because I still had the stream audio on, and it was just like hearing 5 voices at once. Vex might be at work. We can bring in someone louder.
Who's loud?
But
that might also work because I'm not a good test for loudness because I have a compressor on my microphone.
Yeah. I don't know though. I think we might be okay because from what I could hear of the stream, it was coming through just fine.
Alright.
Alright, in any case, what I might do, for some reason,
One thing I actually want to test while you're live.
Yeah.
Because I do happen to have my guitar on my microphone.
Ooh, goody.
I wanna see how that works out.
Yeah, no, please do.
Might wanna turn down or turn off the background music then? Unless you want to test it with the background music.
I don't really
we can
care,
turn it
I
off for
just
now.
want to hear my guitar for once like everyone else hears it because I can't do that normally.
Hearing my laugh echo back to me is so weird.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River.
I don't know if it's just me, but the guitar itself is pretty quiet.
Yeah, because it's not actually on my microphone, I forgot to turn it on. So all you got was the acoustic. I was wondering why I wasn't hearing it as well, so you heard the acoustic that I played through my microphone. So basically you heard what I normally hear. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River.
Oh, hold up. Maybe I'll deafen so that I can hear the stream audio a bit better in comparison.
And turn the guitar louder. Have the control over that. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Yeah, what you hear actually sounds better than what I hear normally. Enough guitar, my fingers are tired, I just wanted to hear it for once.
Yeah, and how was it, Chloe?
Overall audio, I feel isn't
There's
like super loud.
Tons of lag between the stream.
That too, there's about like a 5-second almost.
Basically,
Yeah, I mean,
I could get to a Shenandoah River before I actually heard it myself.
Now, I would like you to help me with one more quick audio test, if that's okay, guys. I am going to walk around while dribbling my basketball, so I want to see if you hear it.
Alright.
In the stream or in Discord?
In the stream. In the stream.
Okay, stream up and Discord down.
It's louder than your voice.
The basketball is louder than my voice.
Yes.
That is crazy. Okay, I'll try not to do that. Alright, well... anything else you guys want to go over for the stream test stuff? No? Nothing else?
No, I guess I could comment on your tags though. I hate how only some of them are capitalized.
Yeah, so... I don't think I have control over the capitalization of tags. So... I don't know, like when I was searching for the tags, it comes up with like pre-selected results that you choose from, if that makes sense. So when I type in, it gives me the option, and I kind of select the option it gives me, but yeah.
Okay, mobile stream is still working.
So many app improvements we could make.
So many what improvements we can make?
App.
Like Twitch app?
Or just Twitch in general.
Yeah, probably.
Website, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same for fucking everyone and everything everywhere. But, in any case, what I might do... I might hold off on the Spotify music for now, just because of all the ads, and I might go back to the YouTube music in the meantime, just until I get Spotify Premium set up.
Technically, you have a compressor and an upward compressor. You could actually adjust the volume yourself, but it will affect the music quality.
No, it's just because of the ads. I just don't want the ads to be heard.
Yeah, no, I meant for YouTube. So they are at roughly the same volume. You can do the same thing you did for Raf and me, and use the compressor and the upward compressor to basically force the music to be roughly the same volume.
I think I might be okay, because basically the issue with the YouTube is just since I use it in so many different windows for different stuff, it basically just would mean I would have to like recalibrate it manually like every time. But how's that music sounding to you guys for now?
We turn the stream on. It could be a touch lower, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I'll just reduce it manually a little bit. Hopefully it's
Basically,
okay about
since
that.
it's low volume fantasy music, it's fine. If it would be rock music, you wouldn't be able to hear us in Discord.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I do turn it down a bit more then. Hopefully it'll be okay about that.
Sounds good, yeah.
Okay. Alright, in any case... yeah, no, thanks for the help with that stuff. I think now what I might do is actually work on some stuff, so whether you guys want to stick around for that or not is up to you, but I know you were here with me for a bit yesterday, Chloe, but I ended up streaming again a couple hours later with Zen, and we were kind of going more so over the purposes of some of these nations in the central continent, and we began like doing a focal crafting session on the French-inspired country, which is basically going to be like a major magic nation. And so they're going to have like the premier magic academy, and we were kind of going over like how many year levels there would be, what kind of magics they would teach, what kind of classes they would teach, etc.
Right.
And here I was thinking it was one very long stream because, for your information, Raf, when I got up, he was still streaming.
I mean, I was probably awake around the stream time too.
Yeah, I know you.
But,
you were still up after I finished the second stream.
Oops. Anyways.
Oops.
For the first
Oopsie.
Oopsie daisy.
Teehee.
Yeah, I was zoning out a lot doing my own world building during that first one, so I forgot like 90%
Ooh.
of what was
Would you
discussed.
would you like to share some of what you got up to yesterday with yours?
It was kind of just going over the world building one that I mentioned.
Yeah, the one we discussed the other day.
the other week.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
Let me chat. Okay, I added a couple things. Oh, I added some
that story. I
names.
want to read it.
I will have something ready for sure before the 28th.
Because that's the writing class deadline.
Yes.
Well,
I mean,
I
I
would
think I
love
could've done before then.
I would love for you to read your story to me at that time.
Oh no. It won't be completed, it'll probably be like first few chapters.
That's fine.
kind
It
of
doesn't have to be like a complete major thing. It's just like lovely to share what you've been working on, you know?
thing. Yeah. But yesterday I specifically made some kind of gangs and groups inside the city. Like an information brokers group, kind of a bandit group, a professional kidnapper group, etc. And I was also starting to think about different kind of monsters and more wildlife kind of plants and things.
Yeah,
And I
that
made it
sounds
so
cool.
that I'm gonna use pretty much basic fantasy monsters to some extent, but skeletons, for example, rather than them being just like clunky bags of bones, they're gonna be able to control and move their bones at will.
Ah, so they could like throw them out like a boomerang.
I mean, sure, but like if you try and like poke at them or slash at them,
They kind
you
of
could
boost
get like
inside.
a sword caught between the ribs.
Okay, that sounds kind of freaky.
You can move
Ah,
or detach it and then reattach it.
yeah, no, that sounds fun. That kind of brings me to a talking point for my own project, actually, because basically plan on having some kind of like race or monster for pretty much anything you can kind of think of in this worldview I'm making, and with the undead in particular, I'm basically doing like 3 different types of undead, if that makes sense. So there'll be like the fleshy undead, the skeletal undead, and the spiritual undead. And
Yeah.
basically how they are going to work is they're going to have like different tiers and rankings based on like how advanced undead they are. So you have like the basic skeletons, the basic zombies, and the basic like ghosts or spirits. And then kind of get a few different like variations of them as they kind of go up from there. So like
I'm avoiding going to detail into naming separate types of skeletons
yes.
and just have them just take on the form of something, and rather than a name for it, it's just gonna be like a rank based on difficulty. Like just a Adventurers Guild has like a rank of different power levels, for example.
So you could have like skeletal mages, skeletal warriors, skeletal archers,
Yeah,
and they
but I'm
all
not
kind
gonna
of...
name them as such, they're just skeletons.
Okay, no, I get you, I get you.
But they'll have a rank given to them based on kind of what the guild has deemed their power level to be. For example, like a B rank one would be... Oh, sorry, wait. Let me read the note. Yeah, like a C rank would be considered an elite level monster.
Okay.
And would require an equivalent C rank adventurer or a group of D ranks to defeat.
Yeah, so that's some to like the challenge rating system in D&D or whatever. I've mentioned to some of the other boys that I've already got my a bit of a concept for a challenge rating system for the TTRPG gameplay aspect of this little project, which I won't go too much into detail with here and now, because it's a pretty good standardized universal kind of system that can really be repurposed or reused however you deem fit. But I'm going to keep a lot of the actual mechanical systems of like operations hidden for now. But yeah.
Did you actually take inspiration from Naruto, or is it a coincidence that you both have the skeletons being able to move bones, as well as a similar ranking system?
I did not think of Naruto at all when making this.
Yeah, I didn't think of Naruto at all at the mention of any of that either. I mean, I know Kimimaro had a Koke Genkai that allowed him to manipulate his bones at will, but
yeah,
I think
basically what I thought of first when I heard about the skeletons.
Yeah, I think what Chloe has in mind is a bit different. Because Kimimaro can like extract bones from his body, grow them, shape them, and everything. But I think what Chloe means is like the ribs don't like change in size or shape or anything. They can just move. Like you would move the muscles in your body.
Fluid body. In a way, rather than just a rigid.
So basically, skeletons are higher tiers of being which have been released from their fleshy prisons, which allow them more creativity and freedom of movement.
Yes. Rather than a basic little beginner monster.
Yeah. No, I get you, I get you.
I don't really want to make any kind of beginner monsters either. Because I don't feel like that's how it would work. Like there's just, there's randomly these low-level zombies that are perfect for beginners to come across.
You don't make low-level zombies. You have beginners fight against something like a feral wolf. That's half-starved. Something that occurs naturally.
That's just an example.
In any case... yeah, no, so I think I'm gonna start fleshing out this magic school a little more, because basically we got like 5 schools of magic. I don't know if that might get converted into 6, but it's pretty standard for now. So basically, what I'm gonna have is like a school house, essentially, for each kind of school of magic, so they'll each have like their own magic tower.
Yep.
Each school of magic have their own magic tower where students of that magic specialty dorm in. And we'll say that each school of magic has some kind of magical creature. Example, I'm not going to use this, but a chimera, which represents their school of magic. So generally, this would be a magical beast which exhibits natural properties of the magic school. So for instance, there's some kind of like displacer beast out there which can influence light and sound to like camouflage itself, make it invisible like a chameleon or something. Like that might be the kind of creature that represents the optics and acoustics school of magic.
I do have a question about your magic school.
Yes.
I can see at which age people go there, but if you go to that school, do you have to come with a specific school of magic in mind? Like, hey, I'm 15 years old, I want to go learn about optics acoustics?
Oh.
Or do you actually have some kind of orientation period for like a semester or something, where people learn about everything before they specialize?
That is a very excellent question. Thank you, Dave. Give me a second. How are students placed in their respective magic schools? So, do students get to choose, or are they placed sorting hat style? I kind of like the idea of students going there with the intention of wanting to study or excel in a particular brand of magic, but basically how I'm kind of planning this is for students who have to do some kind of entrance exam to get in, and as part of that entrance exam maybe there's like a magic capability test, and they maybe there's some kind of unique property of their mana which allows them to more aptly use a particular school of magic. So maybe like if you have red mana, you are a thermodynamics user. If you have like yellow mana, you're a electromagnetism user, and maybe you kind of get placed based on what you're judged to be innately good at.
That might be decently restrictive, because it's something you don't actually have a choice in.
Well, the thing is,
While
in
I
terms
guess
of
that there should be some kind of aptitude for it. Let's imagine that you're coming from a long line of magic users, and your family has a family business based off of it, and you want to continue it. But then you go to magic school, and it's a thermodynamics-based family business, and you really want to learn that, even if you're only mediocre at it, because you want to continue the family business, but your magic is better suited for optics, then you're basically done for.
Yeah, I mean, or alternatively, they could not be capable of using any kind of magic at all as well. So I would say, rather than that being a bad thing, I would say it's even more a good thing, because it creates reasons for a compelling storytelling in terms of like, oh no, I've been disowned from my family because I can't use the magic that everyone else uses. What am I going to do with my life now? Like, I think it's better in a way.
It's a bit black and white that way. If you had an
I mean,
aptitude,
in
basically
terms
on a
of
scale, So you have a choice of maybe 2, or if you're unlucky, only 1. If you're lucky, 5 schools of magic, and then you get to choose from there. That would be less black and white, but can still create drama. But it would be a bit more realistic, because chances are magic will not be a complete switch like, yeah, you're only good at this one thing.
Yeah, well, I did, when I was speaking
And
about
then
this
you would also
yesterday.
create bad students that try to keep up and have the drama of, I'm really going to fail this class, I have to practice more, or I have to find a shortcut in between.
Yeah, so when I was talking yesterday, I briefly mentioned about multiclassing from a gameplay aspect with the different kind of colors of magic as well, based on how you go. But the thing is, how the school curriculum will work, I haven't really fleshed out the finer details of it, but basically the intention is the nation itself would want specialized magic users rather than standardized magic users. So it would be more incentive from the nation itself to kind of force people down a singular path. But maybe it is better to just like have a general meta test to see if they can or can't use magic rather than a particular school of it. And then as the students enter, they kind of get taught everything, and then they themselves can kind of choose what they want to specialize or focus in.
I would give them a semester or so of they get taught everything, so they have a solid basics.
Yeah.
And then have them do an aptitude test in which magic they excel, and have the state/institute really heavily push them in the direction they have the highest aptitude, but make it possible for students to basically
to learn the other
overrule
ones.
that.
Yeah.
But then they have to keep their grades really high to keep up with the rest of the class or something like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, there's so many ways we can do it, but I think in order to really be able to determine the structure of it, I think it's good to kind of construct the classes of what is learnt and when first, because basically for this aspect of what will be a TTRPG eventually, basically I plan on the players actually go to school as students and go to school like as a normal bloody kid would, and just learning magic instead of anything else. So I need to figure out the class system for anything else first, I think, and kind of just like build everything up around that as we kind of go, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and what you also could do instead of the orientation semester, you could just assume that they have some prior experience. Maybe the schools they attended beforehand, I mean, they must have learned to read and write and all that stuff. Maybe they did the orientation, and you get the aptitude test already when you enter the school.
Yeah, because basically...
It shouldn't be the complete black and white, hey, your magic is red, so you have to study this. It should at least have a way to overrule it with a chance of failure.
No, I get that for sure, because basically the end goal with this world is basically to have anyone be able to do anything, basically, to a limited extent in terms of like gameplay, but yeah, no, I get you for sure. Alrighty, let me take down some notes here. So what we're gonna do...
While you are taking down notes, I actually have done a slight bit of world building myself.
Oh, would you like to share what you're working on?
Basically, what I'm thinking about is one of the one-shots that I'm going to play. Going to DM eventually. Eventually, when Kiyumi actually gets figured out. So it's not really a secret that Kiyumi went to school. And that might be slightly spoilerish, but it's not really that important. They don't start school at like 5 or 6 or something. They are basically taken in as infants, and they grow up together in a class with roughly their age mates. And the idea was that one of the one-shots I'm going to lead is taking place in that school, where they have adventures as basically level 1 characters, or even before level 1. And I thought of a decently interesting thing on how to determine the stats of children. Basically, I was sitting there, and I'm not sure why I was sitting there thinking. I rarely don't try to do that normally. But I was figuring out that it might be very nice if you basically start playing as an infant as well. And everyone gets presented with basically a choice, like, you're just waking up, you're hungry, what do you do? And then depending on the decisions the players make when presented with those scenarios as an infant, adjust modifiers to their stats.
Oh.
So that if you're a curious child, you obviously get a bonus to wisdom and maybe even intelligence. And if you're just throwing tantrums, then your intelligence might not be that high, but you might get a bonus to strength or something like that. And then basically fast forward the players from infant age through various scenarios, and when they're a bit older, even interacting with each other, to the age that the one-shot will actually take place.
No,
And by then, basically, you will have decided on your stats without actually deciding or rolling anything.
It's pretty
Fun
dope.
concept. That way, you can learn about your own character's backstory as well without having to write it.
Yeah, basically. Also,
Yeah,
good
it's like
evening,
a
Simeon.
lived experience. And yeah, good evening.
Hey, Simeon, buddy, how you doing?
I'm not good. I'm good. Figured I'd be in here.
Yeah.
We actually did an audio test stream and then started planning.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I only heard about the last bit of it, but whatever y'all are doing sounds
basically,
good.
the lived experience is an idea I have for one of the one-shots I might DM once Kiyumi gets figured out.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about the magic system I plan on utilizing, and I was speaking briefly yesterday about not running any kind of like resource restriction in terms of like usage or whatnot. But I'm thinking there might still be some kind of basis for determining one's like mana capacity or output or flow or anything like that as well. And I think I believe you remembered like this particular magic system, there's going to be a few different ones in the world, but if there was going to be like any kind of reference or relation to any kind of magic system out there, this magic system probably is more close to the irregular magic high school kind of magic system, if any of you guys know about that series. Because
Is
it's
that the one
basically
with the really strong
Sounds
kid?
familiar. I might even
Yes.
have watched it, but I don't remember.
it's that one with the really strong kid. Yes, that one.
Yeah, cool. The like anime Harry Potter, but better. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I've seen bits and bobs.
basically, how that magic system works is they have like bases for determining like how good. Someone is meant to be at magic, and it's based on like flow and everything. And I'm just trying to find what or where that's kind of written. Because it'll be a good reference for determining how I implement something similar if I choose to.
So is this flow something that's born into you, or is it something that comes with practice?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Is the flow something that you're born with, or is it something that comes with practice? Or is it a combination of two? You have a potential for a flow, and if you practice, you can increase it? I'm just curious because I don't know the magic flow system from the anime.
Well, that's exactly it. That's kind of what I'm trying to determine, which is why I'm trying to like find it to use as a reference, because I'm not really sure what I want to do with it quite yet.
Also, if you have the flow, it might be that some magic schools can work with less flow than others need. So that might be a really dynamic system.
Yeah.
Basically, one magic school needs a high flow because they just output power to attack something, and the other is just a subtle illusion, so it's not as needed.
Yes. No. I just found what I was looking for. So basically, the magic power is determined by kind of 3 traits. One is interference strength, which is basically the strength of their magic sequences for writing their thing, which is basically making magic circles. One is the capacity or scale of them, / magic tolerance. I'm not really sure what that refers to off the bat, but I assume that's how much they can create at any one time, maybe. And then the other one is their speed of design, basically, if that makes sense. So, I would say for my own system, like magic capacity itself, like mana capacity, isn't really a thing I'd like, because it's like Naruto. Yeah, you have chakra, and chakra you use for ninjutsu. It's basically just plot convenience for, oh no, I'm out of chakra, I can't do anything, or oh yes, I have chakra, I can do anything, and it's either all or nothing, and it's kind of just stupid how it works. So I don't think I want like total mana output to be a thing. If anything, I'm thinking maybe some kind of like atmospheric mana thing. So basically, you can be in an area where magic is possible of being used, or you're in an area where magic is incapable of being used. Because basically what's going to happen when you draw magic circles is you either engrave them on an object, or you essentially write them in the air. So I think it's going to be more environmental based rather than internal based. So if someone can't use mana somewhere, then no one should be able to, theoretically. So it's less like bullshit plot convenience that just cucks a single character for no reason.
I can vibe with that. It's a lot more of just like, do you know how to do the spell? Rather than like, you do spell 1, 2, 3, and then you're done.
Yeah. So I think
is the area even like applicable for you to do the spell in? You know what I mean?
For sure.
I feel like there should be some other limitation, other than do you know the spell? But it should basically be something that's based on practice. So I would have a various amount of magic in the environment. And the more you practice, the more spells you can do, like more difficult spells you can do in a low magic environment. So someone that spent their whole life studying magic should be able to do something in an environment where a new magic student can't. so that you have some benefit from studying. But easier spells should obviously be still possible even for beginners. So maybe put the magic schools in a really high magic environment, so that when you start out learning magic, you have a really easy time with it, and the more you practice, the easier it is to either do higher spells in the same amount of magic environment, or do the spells you learned in the high magic environment in a lower one.
That could make like pilgrimages even a part of being a part of wizard school, because like if you're cool enough to leave wizard school and be a wizard, then you did the thing, you know, graduated, good job. I like that.
Yeah, it also gives
it
like
also makes sense for people to actually go to school. Like you can learn magic even without school, but you will
But the
have
environment
a far
there is
harder
better.
time because you have to find some high magic environment or struggle very long.
For sure, and it also gives a reason to have like pockets of like mystical places out there in the world where otherwise impractical systems or rather impossible phenomena become possible. Like if you have a very like electromagnetic charge mana permeating the atmosphere, like you'll see, you can like Charge Stone Cave in Pokemon Black and White Unova region, if anyone's aware of that. So you have like these giant electrified stones that kind of pulse, and they kind of magnetically draw each other to them with magnetic electricism, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it creates like great environments for that. So because one of the things I wanted to do is, I was mentioning yesterday about like some kind of expedition or field trip for students to go on to like dungeons or something somewhere, and maybe what they do is they go to these, depending on like what class of magic they're in, they go to like these electrical charge magnetic caves to study the mana there, for instance.
Yeah, or they go to a very low magic place and try to use their magic there as a learning experience.
Yeah.
So good one. And then you can do like summer camp and like teach them at a camp and not be total wussies, whilst also exposing them to trying their magic out in low magic environments.
Yeah.
So basically the way I envision this is you have an innate magic. It's not very high, but it can grow with practice, and your innate magic basically works with your environment in magic. So even if you have low innate magic and you have never practiced magic before, all you need to do is connect with a high magical energy field, and it just works basically without much doing from your side. But the lower the magic energy around is, the more innate magic you need to push in to interact with it. And innate magic can just be something that part of it is aptitude you're born with, but it's also something that you can just practice.
Yeah.
So if you're bad at innate magic, then you just have to go practice far more than someone who has a higher innate magic. So basically, it would also work with your magic aptitude test. So someone that has a very low innate magic might not be accepted to magic school, but if they live in a high magic place, they can still do everyday magic.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to do now is, like what I briefly mentioned yesterday about how I want like different systems to affect like different kind of systems of magic or body or whatever. So I'm having like the respiratory system affect one thing, and the nervous system is going to be the kind of magic system. So I'm kind of just trying to find a good diagram of the human body which shows the nervous system's kind of pathways throughout the body, because that's basically one of the things I want to use as a factor for how fast you can use like a particular kind of magic, maybe.
You might even have some people that are just born crippled, like their right arm just doesn't do magic, And there could be something like a technical cyberpunky thing going on where they try to basically fix that by having external magic channeling connected to their arms or something.
And would it be
Yeah, yeah.
possible to be physically disabled, but still be able to use magic in that part of your body?
Ooh, you could even do it like how some paraplegics have more blood flow going to like the top half of their body, so they have like increased brain function and whatnot, and like their lungs work way better. So like you could even set it up in a way where they could do XYZ magic way better than everybody else due to the limitations of their body.
Sure. Like, the limitations are pretty much endless. So let me just save this image here. Central
I'm gonna go
nervous
grab a snack
system.
real quick, I'll be back.
You go do that, buddy.
Snack sounds good. Maybe I should open one.
I've got a wonderful roommate cooking me wonderful food right now, so I'm straight cooling.
Nice. What is he making you?
Oh, we're having some broke boy meals. It's spaghetti noodles and cooked kielbasa sausage.
Nice. There's one thing I won't sacrifice as part of my budget. It's food. Like I always make sure to meet a healthy, nutritious, protein-filled, like very balanced and filling meal because I love food, and food is our fuel that makes everything that we do worth it.
For sure, I do tend to agree, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I've just marked down a little image here for the nervous system. So, neural pathways. Yes. So,
I'm just seeing the magical devices that some people connect to just bridge over some neural pathways that aren't as developed as they want to, and all the inherent dangers of using something like that.
yeah. People do all kinds of crazy shit. It leads to a lot of compelling storytelling as well.
Might be the Germans that actually do something like that.
Probably.
I saw that they are into magical engineering.
Yes, and they were
That
gonna.
sounds like something they might do.
Yes.
Like, not all of them and not officially, but I can see some basically black market springing up there.
Yes, no, I'll
Taking
definitely.
the inventions that were made and just using it to somehow enhance the human body at high risk.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely consult Ari, the Germans' shenanigans at that point. Magic capability determined. Cool. So, just going back to what I was speaking earlier about the magic power system of the Irregular Magic High School, for instance. So they do interference, strength, capacity, and scale, and processing. So we want to have a couple of different things. So, how fast can one draw magic circles with their mana? So that'll be like processing speed.
And what do you mean by magic circles?
Basically, you like get a finger and you kind of like trace it in the air, and it draws a magic circle with mana.
Are
That's
they
basically
preset diagrams, or can you, or is this some kind of formula you can come up with your own?
I would say probably more of a bit of both. So basically, the idea is how the magic will work is it's basically bending the rules of physics in the world around you. So it all exists as it is, but you're just modifying them for your own purposes. So I would say the study of magic is studying which of these magic circles affect the world and how, essentially. So they have ways to determine if they draw this magic circle this way, that the temperature decreases or increases. And basically, I would say, like, maybe how dense the mana you write with is affects like how cold or how hot it becomes. But that's not the limit of thermodynamics, for instance. So you could probably do other stuff other than just increase or decrease temperature by a set range. So part of the study that some clubs might get into is the discovery of new magic types or new magic circles, which basically allow you to draw different magic circles in different ways to try to procure different effects. So that would basically essentially
Does it
be...
have to be circles?
Could you
Well,
overlap as well?
Thinking you could make it a whole rune system where magic circles are just pre-configured things everyone can learn, but if they understand how the symbols are interacting together, they can try and make their own in any shape. So someone could make magic triangles because they feel they are cool.
yeah.
And then the effectiveness would also basically be in how well the interactions
And could you
are
mix and
written.
match as well, or like
Yeah, I
overlap
mean,
circle?
That's
For added
that's
effect?
for the users of the magic to find out more than anything, really. Like, I imagine theoretically, yeah, you could do a different shape like a triangle. It's more like the interior of the circle that would be more important, I would say. But like the circle is more so a guide to construct the shape accurately. For instance, perhaps. But
Basically, I imagine I just draw the symbol for fire in the air, and it does something. Maybe it creates fire, maybe it creates heat, who knows? But that on its own is not really stable, so if I surround it by 4 other symbols, like warmth and heat and air, and
Well,
then
that's
eventually the symbol of fire will warm up the air, and circles are just really complex things that people have learned and found out that they work.
yeah, I'd say
You
that
can be the stupid magic user that just uses pre-made, or you can figure out how it works.
Yeah, I'd say that's kind of the intended purpose of the application of them. So you'd draw the circle and you'd put in the main effect of whatever symbol you want to happen, and then you'd fill it with other symbols as well to kind of like interact with that one initial effect. So you would want the heat to be enough to light something aflame. You'd want the color of flame to be this. You'd want the intensity of the flame to be this. Do you want it to produce smoke? Do you not want it to produce smoke? Maybe it'll like the applications within the school will be pretty much be determined by whether the DM allows your creativity, basically.
So basically, we just found another limiting factor of magic. Your understanding of the symbols.
Correct, or your
So
invention
it
of new
would
symbols.
basically be tied to your something like intelligence, because if your
Well, that's
character
why-
is really stupid, chances are they can just remember them, but not actually combine them in new ways.
That is why magic schools are going to be a thing to teach.
Is spellcasting speed based on the speed of how fast you can move your finger, or something else? Or a combination?
I would say it's more so like the speed of the flow of your neurons through your nervous system, basically. So that's why I'm using the nervous system as more of a inspiration for the system, because theoretically the idea would be you don't actually need a finger to draw to use this magic. I would say it's like a good tool to use as a basis when you're first kind of starting to to draw circles to make sure like you're doing the shape right, to make sure you're feeling the mana right, etc., etc. But I would say it's probably not even necessary, because it's probably more so like just it's the purpose of magic is to exert the force of your will on the world, which is why like one of the stats of the system I have in mind is going to be force of will. It's basically using any kind of like sensory or special power or whatever. So you're basically imagining this circle being drawn within your mind more than anything. So theoretically, you could do it with if you're blind or if you have no fingers or whatever. Could
you drug yourself to make your spellcasting speed faster or make other people slower?
Probably. I mean, poisons fuck with people, so.
Yeah, but I want to go back to the limitation of the understanding of the runes, because even if you have schools, basically there's a difference between I can use a language and follow and communicate in it, and I understand the grammatical intricacies. So I think that might actually be a limitation, because someone with a higher intelligence might actually be able to understand more of it and combine it in a different way.
Probably,
and
but that's
someone that has a high force of will can overpower it and basically force the runes to do what they want, even if they are not correct.
Maybe, but basically the intended purpose of the runes themselves, it's similar to kind of what I was talking again about yesterday with like a pronunciation. So it's not just going to be a magic circle, you'd also say like a keyword to trigger the spell. And basically the keyword itself like is meaningless. So if you draw a magic circle and then you say flame, and it produces a flame, you don't actually need to say flame to trigger this effect. So basically, I'd say magic circles are the same. What you draw doesn't matter. You could draw the symbol of a flame, you could draw the symbol of fire, and it's basically the intended purpose is for you to understand what it is that you want, and the magic circle and the pronunciation of the spell is completely irrelevant. You're basically just trying to exert your will on the world, and the magic circles and the pronunciation are tools to help you manifest, bringing that will to life, basically. Which is again why someone who's I'd say it's probably more advanced, but that's also exactly why someone who is blind or someone who has no fingers could basically do magic in that case, because it's actually irrelevant. It's just more so the power of your creativity and imagination and being able to do what you want with it as you kind of will, if that makes sense.
But if you if just based on power and creativity, then the point of having schools is actually counterproductive, because there everyone will be taught like basically scheme X, and that actually stifles creativity.
To an extent, yes. So basically the intended purpose of the school is for the sake of the nation. They are creating mages to contribute to the advances in technologies and the advances in like practical application of like combat magic, for instance, and basically how militaries work. You have like a squadron of soldiers, and if they are all being commanded to use spell X, then they need to have the same idea in mind of what spell X is. So on an individual standpoint, growing to your topmost excellent as an individual mage, it's definitely better to have the more agency of creativity and freedom to do whatever the hell you want, whenever the hell you want. But in terms of the nation's purpose for creating this academy to raise mages for the nation's benefit, a more standardized system that everyone understands so they can communicate and actually share their knowledge becomes more important for their purposes.
You could even have that as a major piece of the setup for the different cultural boundaries and barriers, because X school does fireball this way, where Y school does fireball that way. So it's really only the upper echelon that genuinely understand the true essence of magic, which adds like a whole bunch of mystery you could add into it all and whatnot. But like the true essence of magic being the art and science of change through will. So it's an art, a feeling, as well as a detailed account and a science that you can take, because each approach will work in its own way. But just like how fire is never constantly the same, each fireball will be a little bit different. But
yes,
like you were saying, if you target your will toward that enough in the right way, it works.
Yes, and that's why having the measurement of like force of will is going to be important for determining like how effective one is at magic, essentially. Because again, so that's why like I'm using the nervous system, like the electrical network of neurons that kind of like affect the brain's processing speed as the basis for this system. Because how fast you use or create spells is basically how fast you can think, and then like how flexible you can use that magic depends on your own personality, imagination, and creativity. And then the force of the density of how hard that spell is to break, or how strong its effect becomes, is basically going to be a measure of like your concentration and your focus, stuff like that.
Would you be able to collaborate with other people to speed up the spell process? Like, one person works on one aspect of the spell, another person works on a different aspect, and combine it together?
I would say theoretically it would be possible, so long as they were in sync, but like the thing with that is it also gives a great opportunity for things to go horribly wrong. But just give me a sec, guys. I'm gonna write down a few things here. You can keep talking amongst yourselves in the meantime.
That sounds like something that you might actually want to learn at school if they are basically militarized. So
Yeah,
basically,
exactly.
And it would give a reason for the standard formulas
that
as well.
is basically Russia, where the leadership doesn't really care about their people. They might actually make that a fundamental part of their magic education, and they don't care if 3 people die doing it, if 20 learn it correctly.
Yeah,
While at a school that actually prides individuals as well, they would learn it as an optional course shortly before graduating. So like, yeah, if you're really desperate, here's what you can do, but don't do it in any other case.
It gives more reason for the standard formulas as well, so that if everyone learns the same formula, then it's easier to work on the same spell all together.
For sure.
Make it really fast.
Which then leads into more cultural interplay, where you'll find people in the eastern and southern continents using runes from the Norse continents to try and like compensate for, you know, heat or cold or something, because their specific area, because again, a lot of the magic's going to be kind of area dependent, but they're like in a mountain or something, which is similar enough to that area. So if they use a fire rune in the mountain, it kind of works a little better than just trying to use a fire charm from the desert, you know? Everybody can have their own like base of magic available to them, you know, basic elements: water, fire, earth, air. You could even do spin-offs: poison, holy, darkness. But like, again, it would really be like the upper echelon that know the true secret of the fact that even though everybody's stuff is technically different, it's all the same.
It's just the imagination.
Indeed. Oh, and I had when Farron and I quite literally first started talking about this, I got a bit of the Mill Note special myself, and I've got a thing. So I love Force of Will, but I had a thought, and people are dumb. I don't know if we had already talked about this, but the biggest thought that came to mind was Special from Fallout, A lot of people really like that as like a standard of basic stats because it's easy to remember what everything is and it spells a thing. I was thinking kind of condensing force of will, especially because we already have willpower. It kind of sounds a little redundant, you know? I did a bunch of thesaurusing. My favorite one that I ended up on was determination because of Undertale. I feel like everybody who liked that would get a huge kick out of that.
Yeah.
But there's like self-control, discipline, resolve, resoluteness. There's all sorts of different ones, and I really feel like because people are idiots, one word.
Resolve or resolution sounds fairly apt for it, to be honest. But I would say honestly, the naming of the stats is probably going to be like one of the last things that kind of happen, because I think it's more important to actually come up with the systems of power themselves first, and then kind of structure the stat mechanic around those systems, essentially, if that makes sense.
For sure.
Okay, so yeah, so we got the. I'm just gonna quickly note this down. So we've got the three main factors of how excellent a mage you should be. So that's how quickly you can create or manifest a spell, how effective or dense it is, spell density, strength of application, how difficult it is to break, and there was the third one I mentioned just before as well. I'm just trying to remember what that is. So there was speed, there was strength. Does anyone remember the third factor I mentioned?
Nope.
I don't remember it expressly, but it was pretty much the whether or not you needed to do the hand signs and stuff, or you were just smart enough to know how to do it.
No, I think it was creative agency / freedom.
Okay, yeah.
How you can.
That's when you start, making your own named spells.
Yeah, I mean, I might come up with like words to represent these better later. It's mostly just like getting all the words down for now.
Oh, show.
Oh yeah, concentration / focus or whatever. But yeah, no. I think for like just terms of like wording this all out, I can do a better job of that later on. But yeah, it's basically getting the key ideas down for now, which is more important. But no. So I'd say that's probably a good representation of how most of the kind of quote-unquote magic systems in this world will kind of work. Because while they might work a bit differently in between like cultures, they may be able to determine different effects that do different things via similar methods, such as with the dragon words and giant speech. I basically plan on implementing like with the Nordic system or whatever else, because they'll be using different symbols that correspond to different effects. And I would say, even though they do completely different things, they probably work the same way via these neural pathways or whatever, because it's a matter of like thinking, writing, and speaking to generate these effects that carry these meanings, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd say for now, I'm not going to be too worried about like naming this school or any of like the houses or the creatures that represent them just yet, especially since I'm probably going to create some original creatures to represent them. But I think you guys may have briefly seen, I've got a list of magic classes up here that are basically going to be taught at this school. So based on the things that we kind of just discussed, I'm wondering if you guys have any further ideas of maybe some classes of magic that might be interesting to teach or learn about, etc. Example.
Nervous system,
Unrelated, but I'm gonna go lie down for a bit. I think I ate too much chocolate.
No worries.
Sleep well, sweet prince.
Probably won't sleep, but thanks. Bye.
Feel better soon.
Okay,
I like the
maybe we-
magic law. You've got a pretty good set. Especially, you know, with naming them something different later on, of course.
Yeah.
So it sounds more schooly, but
I'm not sure if you actually want the magic theory class. If we are basing this on the fact that you can basically do whatever you can imagine and the upper people don't want you to find out. If you teach magic theory, they might students might think too far.
I
It could be
wouldn't
like a high-level
say
class.
I wouldn't say they wouldn't want students to find out. It's just they're not teaching them like full creative agency to do whatever they want. They're basically grooming these students to be what they want for their nation's purpose, but they're not going to stop them from being people. Like, it's not a dictatorship. So I'd say there's probably going to be like a creative class, so like students who experiment and do whatever the hell they want, and there's going to be like a club for that too, potentially. But yeah, like I'll leave magic theory there for now, just as a general thing to like cover like any kind of outside general stuff that might not fit into these other categories, basically.
Yeah, it's just between the magic circle class, the pronunciation class, and the creative class. There isn't really much that could be in there currently.
Yeah.
Well, again, it could be like a real high-level thing, and that's when they start telling the higher-level mages, like, hey, you can just make any of this shit up you want. You know what I mean?
That would be in creativity.
Yeah, I mean, I
Or
don't
in the
imagine
theory.
that would be a secret. It's just more so it's easier for students to learn through a more systematic.
It's almost like a language barrier, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, when you do driving lessons, like, kids know they can do burnouts and donuts, but the driving instructors aren't going to fucking teach them that, are they?
Yeah.
They are teaching them the application of the rules they want them to know for the purpose of integrating into society. That doesn't mean they can't go off into a fucking race course in their own time and do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, it's just basically that's the reason why I think the magic theory class is a bit out there. You
Yeah.
could either have the circle and pronunciation class as separate classes, or group all of that in magic theory, because then you have theory you can actually teach that is not, basically it's just your imagination.
More than likely, yeah. Like, a lot of this could overlap or fall into like a single category together, etc., etc. Like, one of them might just be like a magic fundamentals class that basically teaches the basics of magic combined. So maybe I'll do a / fundamental next to theory, because that can be like a first year class for that kind of purpose. Because again, just like learning and understanding the basics of magic, like Magic 101 is going to be like the core first semester thing that they all kind of learn before they start actually learning how to apply that to spells, if that makes sense. Because it's not something they're going to need to take every semester, every year, for example. It's just to give us an idea of stuff. Okay, well,
You might actually want a class about specifically the dangers of experimentation.
that is not a bad idea.
Basically, just a health safety class that someone has to take at
Magic,
least once.
magic health and safety.
Yeah, magic health and safety.
To cover the legal basis of students exploding themselves.
What did they call sex ed back in the day? Phlebus. Did you guys have Phlebus?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's
We are
like
in-
an acronym for
I mean,
like
we're-
sex ed.
We're in different countries. We're in different countries, too. So
For sure, but you know, I don't know. Everybody knows what
We're
1
in-
plus 1 is.
we're in different continents too with that. But in any case,
And in 2 different language systems.
yes. Technically 3 if you count fucking Straya as its own language system, which I personally do.
Well, to me it's
I do.
English.
I have recently had a business interaction with an Australian person that was having a hard time with regular English, so I don't know. They were typing, so I should have been able to understand them through the accent.
Lol. Sounds like he's just a bogan. But yeah. No other class ideas or suggestions or anything there?
It's nearly 3 a.m. I don't think you're getting many suggestions right now. Half
Yeah.
asleep.
That's fine. That's fine.
None from me. I like everything you got here, and like you said, some of it can kind of be condensed into some, and you could probably split a few up. And again, it's probably going to be a lot more year-based, or like where you are in terms of just age bracket or group, however you're going to do that.
Yeah, because basically, while the rough idea now is just to have like 3 school years, 4 semesters or whatever,
Yeah,
it's also worth noting the calendar year is going to be like half of a normal calendar year for us in the real world as well. So I'd say that creates more purpose for a lot of the learning and education to be accelerated as well.
Yeah, condense everything.
Yeah. So, because basically, like, a lot of education these days, like, things are kind of really watered down and prolonged and shit. Whereas if you literally just watch a 5-minute condensed online video about a subject, you can be a better master of it than taking like a full semester course in an actual school, depending on how it's being taught.
Oh, I know about all of that for sure.
But yeah.
I don't currently see is how your schools of magic actually differ for the classes. Apart from the fact that they might be learning slightly different magic circles, I just don't see any real difference right now, especially one that would require you to have a specific aptitude for one of these specific schools.
Yeah, so that's thank you for bringing that up. So basically, I'd say at first, like, all the first year students will probably be like lumped into the same classes together. I'd say maybe the first year as a whole, like, they learn a little bit about everything, kind of see what they like and all that. And it probably won't be until like the second year onwards, at least, that they start specializing in any kind of one given path, if that makes sense. And then after that,
Like currently, all I see is that for a different school, maybe the circles and pronunciations are differently, but everything else looks like it actually is
well,
the same.
that's the thing. So with like the magic circles and pronunciation or whatever, that'll probably be more like a magic 101 magic theory fundamentals thing, because though I've listed those down more so as the necessity to teach people about the purpose and meaning and existence of them, rather than actually learning about the different kinds of circles and pronunciations of spells and shit that are out there. I'd say it's when you more so get into like the specialized classes that you start using these magic types, that you kind of learn the systematic structure that the school is using to teach them, if anything.
Yeah, but currently I personally don't see the difference between the different schools, because let's imagine I'm in the optics school and a friend of mine is in thermodynamics.
Yes.
I currently don't see why I couldn't give the thermodynamics person one of these circles, and they just look at it and wish really hard, and it works for them. I just don't see any really difference.
I mean, I guess
in
theoretically,
the ruling. That means that you have to specialize. Apart
theoretically,
from preferring one set of spells.
Yeah, theoretically it would be possible. I guess that's a big thing as well, because the issue there isn't necessarily being able to do that itself. The issue is how we would implement something like that on a gameplay perspective, because basically the goal is to have like a player characters go up to 9th level in the worldview, and basically they get skills as they kind of traverse through the world, which determine their level. So if they learn how to use these different types of magic, theoretically it would be like a level based on whatever school of magic you're doing, but maybe it would make more sense to just have a singular class capable of using this magic who can use all of these different types of magic schools, rather than focusing on any single one.
That, or we need some kind of limitation that the more you learn from one magic school, the more specialized your magic yourself will become, and you become unable to do a different magic school at that level. So basically, you train your magic system to be more compatible to that one school.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is...
So the school-specific classes are basically drills, like, yeah, if you want to do illusions, then you have to focus on very low-power magic, and eventually you are so used to low-power magic that you can do high-power magic spells to do extreme temperature changes or something like that. Because you're basically trained differently.
Yeah, no, I think this might actually work out for the best, because I was kind of speaking a bit yesterday about how theoretically a player will be able to like take three separate classes, and they'll go up to like a certain level of power based on how many levels in whatever class they essentially go. So if they were a 4th level thermodynamics user and a 5th level something else, then they couldn't take a level in a 3rd thing. But basically what I'm thinking now is since how this system works in the case of this magic in particular, since it does only go since it basically is like the freedom of creativity, there's a limit of how much more powerful you can make it over a span of 9 levels if you limit someone to one school of magic. But if you allow them access to all 5/6 of them, I haven't really finalized the schools there yet, there's a lot more freedom of agency to be more powerful in a certain school depending on how you use it in comparison to the others, if that makes sense.
Basically, if schools of magic are basically just represented in I pixie class electrodynamics or optics or something, and I learn more about optic spell circles, so I know more of them and I have a better grasp of the symbols,
so
then
basically,
that's fine. It's just if you actually have to pick one and stick with it, then we need then there needs to be actually something that makes me unable to do the rest, because otherwise the separation just doesn't make really sense.
Yeah, no, so I'll say for the first level you'll gain access to all of it, and the second onwards you kind of like focus more on specializing one, and players will have access to use all of them freely as they wish, and they'll probably naturally kind of develop a preference or of their own, which they can be more powerful at.
Or they can do all equally and just never reach the high level spells, but have tons of versatility.
Basically that too, but with the thing is with this system, I don't know if there's like any one real way to make it so you can focus on any kind of specialty to level 9 really. I'd have to think about it a bit more, because theoretically, rather than like having separate levels based on only being like a level 2 thermodynamics using comparison to level 1 of everything else, I think it just makes more sense to be able to grow with them all exponentially over time. But yeah, I don't know. I'll think about that a little bit more when we actually finish fleshing out the gameplay mechanics of the system, if that makes sense. But I think as it is, for now, we should be okay to kind of leave it as it is, like that for the time being.
Ooh,
All
I'm gonna
right.
hop off real quick. I might be back later, but y'all have a good one.
No worries,
Yeah,
buddy.
I wish
I'll
you a
catch
good night now, because hopefully I will be asleep later.
No. Hell yeah, go to sleep.
Bye, buddy. Well, how long do you think you have left in New Day?
Oh, it depends. If I actually have to do much thinking, then not very long, but if I can just occasionally have an insight, then I can maybe make it another hour.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's 3 a.m. I'm 20 hours awake.
Yeah, and it's 11 a.m. for me as well, so in another half hour I'll be looking into starting lunch at some soonish point too, so that kind of works well. Alright, well, let me go into these magic classes, because I think what I kind of want to do is really just start thinking about like what would be in each class, if that makes sense. And I think Magic Fundamentals is the appropriate place to start. So that would probably cover like Magic Theory, Magic Circles, Magic Pronunciation.
Yeah. If you circles and pronunciation are basically just the beginner's class, then yes. You should have some classes where you just basically learn commonly used circles and memorize them and maybe understand them.
For sure. I'd say
maybe you can only take a specific amount for different magic schools in total while you're at school, and everything else you have to do in self-study, which might be why you want to specialize. Because it might just be easier if you're interested in illusion magic to do all the illusion magic classes at school instead of taking one of each, because you are able to memorize these simple circles anyway, and you might but you might want someone to explain the complex circles to you.
For sure. Okay, so
I feel like the creativity class should be after the magic extortion force of will class. That should basically be first thing you learn, because if you don't know that your will is important and you haven't honed your will, then you shouldn't try being creative.
yeah, I'd say a lot of that will probably fall under like the fundamentals of magic more than anything.
I think the force of will class should be a separate class, where you basically just have practice for a semester or two and practice in different magic environments, just so you learn how to express your will the best.
Yeah, I think that might be the same for like just like processing speed in general, learning techniques and strategies to like become a faster
you learn
spellcaster.
about it in fundamentals, but you have classes specifically dedicated to practicing that. Basically, someone can teach you the rule of basketball in one sports class, but you still need to practice basketball to be good at it.
For sure, for sure. No, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I'd say magic, engineering, and combat magic will be second year.
combat magic, if we are talking a school for teens, is something you might actually want to push back to 3rd year, just because they are currently in puberty and it might be really hard to enforce peace in a school if teenagers learn how to fight early.
Well, I think
You
they're gonna
might
try to
want to
learn.
sit out puberty as much as you can.
I think they're gonna try to do that regardless of what happens or when. So I'm thinking they kind of want the students to learn to fight though. That's the thing, because basically part of the thing is looking at them becoming potential soldiers for them. So I think the 2nd year is reasonable for that, and then 3rd year, rather than combat magic itself, it'll be like magic's application in war specifically.
It depends. If the war magic class is a more theoretical class, you could put it in 2nd year, and the actual casting of combat magic spells in 3rd year.
No, I think that's good as it is for now. Let me look over these ones. So Magic Fundamentals has Magic Theory in general,
Magic law
circles,
is something that you
pronunciation.
might actually want to learn early, at least the main
that's-
principles.
So no, I get why you're saying that, but I had a brief thought about that, which I haven't mentioned. But basically, the thing is, this is going to be a dormitory school. So when the students go there and start learning, they're not necessarily going to be allowed to leave freely as they wish, unsupervised. Just as like a basic kind of like safety thing for like all medicine purposes and intentions of how that stuff works.
Think about it this way. If you learn how to cast magic completely freely without many rules, and you don't know what the rules outside will be, you might learn bad habits, and then in your last year you get told, yeah, but don't do that. It will not
the thing
stick so
is-
much as if it's something that's stressed throughout your whole schooling.
It's more
You don't
so
have
a
to have
matter.
the You don't have to have the specific magic law class in 3rd year, in an earlier year, but it should be at least the basics of it, the most important parts. Not exactly why the rules are that way, but at least you should teach them the rules that they have to follow outside early, so they grow used to it, basically.
Yeah.
Instead of just learning it with other things.
Yeah.
So you can basically have an in-depth law class later on, but at least in fundamentals you should teach them about the laws.
Yeah, no, because I mean, part of the logic from my end is they aren't actually going to be going out until that year. So I think it's more appropriate to teach it in tandem during that time, because if they aren't going out anyway, then there's not much point. But maybe a 2nd year instead for it, because I think. First years they might not be able to really go out at all, but maybe 2nd year they can start like getting back out there and they can learn about it at that time. But I mean, I'm not saying like they wouldn't learn about it in general earlier on. Anyway, it's not like it's not going to be mentioned or taught at all until that point. It's more so the specialized preparation for them to go back out into society, the things that they need to be aware of at that time. Just more of a when and where it's appropriate to use magic within society, rather than just being able to use it like anytime you kind of want. But I'd say in general, like even outside of that, there'd be some measure of discipline with teachers just and general school rules as well to restrict the usage of magic in general within the school anyway. So
It's just, it should at least be mentioned beforehand.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't
I'm
have to have a full year class about it, but in Magic Fundamentals you should at least touch on the laws.
Well, keep in mind, these aren't necessarily going to be like full year-long classes with that. But,
Yeah. But in general, like health and safety, you basically should also have a rough class of, yeah, that are the rules you have to follow outside, so don't get too used to this.
Okay, so let me just have a quick read through some of this stuff. So first year, health and safety is a must. Magic fundamentals is a must. Magic fundamentals will cover theory in general, circles, pronunciation, and how kind of mana works. Environmental mana, question mark. And then just learning how to flow that mana and how to exert it. Then we have a few left over here. Magic application, that kind of falls under... I think that's more like day-to-day use of magic. I'd say history of magic's probably going to be like the first year thing, learning about how it all came to be and whatever.
You might actually want to think about how taxing it is to use magic. Not in general when you're finished with school, but while you are at school. Because if in first year you're still learning how to exert your force of wills, for example,
I mean, that could fall under health and
tax
safety.
you and you might be physically tired, so you should put more theory classes in there. But
yeah.
if you actually have the opposite standpoint of the younger you are when you learn magic, the easier it is, then you should put more practical classes first year. So you should basically think about the details of the magic system a bit. Because you could put day-to-day magic into first year if you need them to use magic as often as possible to build up reserves or something like that. But if it's something that will come with time or age or experience, then you might put it somewhere later and have them learn theory in first year more.
Day-to-day magic is more so the convenience of like what kind of magic is used on a day-to-day basis, like probably more like magical technology, like objects engraved with magic circles that like heat food or like heat water, for example.
Yeah, it's just if you are exhausted after your magical exhaustion or magic processing speed class, because you just keep practicing over and over and over and over and over again, then it's not the best idea to also put other classes where you need spells in there. So if you have to have much practice in those two classes, then the rest should maybe wait. Or you can do it alongside that. It's just something to think about.
Yeah. So we've got 6 classes in first year, 5 in second, 4 in third currently. Because I ideally want to have like the same number of classes per year, if that makes sense. Let me see.
Actually it's fine that third year has less classes.
Because it gives you more focus on them as well.
Yeah. Especially since you have the respective magic school classes in there. So if they're feeling really not enough, like they don't do enough, then they can just take another one of those. I think third year could even be a pick and choose thing, where you can also take extra classes in something you either want to really focus on, or in something you're just not that good at to get more practice before you're on your own. And it could also be something where more singular practice without a specific class is emphasized. So you can take advantage of having teachers to help you. without having to specifically sit in a class with other students.
Yeah.
So it could be a bit more for individual learning.
Maybe, maybe. I think that's kind of good for now. I might revisit this structure a little more later, but I shouldn't have to worry about it too much for the time being. For that, I think I might go get myself some lunch because I feel myself losing focus.
Yeah, and I might actually go to sleep.
Cool, sounds good.
I have to be up in less than 12 hours again.
No worries. Well, thank you again for helping with all the audio shebang as well and the stream setup. I appreciate your generosity of your time.
You picked a good day. I was just watching OBS setup videos for basically 5 hours. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, in that case, I am gonna go warm up some lunch. I will
enjoy your food.
I'll see you sooner than later, no doubt.
Yeah, at the latest point Sunday.
Sounds good. Alright, bye bye for now.
Bye.
Alrighty. I'll be back after lunch.